And welcome. We are going to be starting this week on Parshat Bo, and I'm going to set up the screen.
B'Shalach.
Forgive me, my brain is clearly has to get into gear. Yes, well, at least I have the right place, right?
Pizzicato, no bow.
Lovely. I was going to say, I love, at least you see now I know you're paying attention, right? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Amen.
Vayhi b'shalach paro et ha'am, and it was so that when Pharaoh, this is the when Pharaoh sent the nation, the people, v'lo nicham Elohim, and God did not guide them, derech eretz plishtim, by way of the land of the Philistines. So just for those of you who, in case there's any doubt as to what this means, that we know that the Philistines landed along and settled along the western coast, that is the Mediterranean coast of Israel. Where Ashdod and Gaza, those were all originally Philistine towns. And what they're saying is that it would have been very easy if the Israelites had just simply followed along the shoreline to get to the land of Canaan. But God did not lead them that way. Why? Ki karovhu. So this ki can mean because, or it could mean although. So how you can, and in fact, both translations kind of work, right? So you'll see from what follows. So although it was close, or because it was close, ki amar, for Elohim, for God thought, pen yinachem ha'am, lest the people regret, change their minds, bir'otam milchama, when they see war, when they engage in battle, v'shavu Mitzrayim, and return to Egypt. So if it was easy to go, easy come, easy go, or in this case, easy go, easy return. So if they saw something that was encountered adversity. So this is, of course, a famous sort of passage, right? As to why God led them south in a southerly direction or southeasterly direction. Vahi b'shalach paro. And it was that when Pharaoh sent, which in itself is going to require some thought, Pharaoh sent, v'lo nicham, this is God, did not guide them.
Nacham, isn't it?
Is it Nacham? Thank you. Yes, I'm sorry. It is absolutely Nacham. Thank you. Thank you for paying close attention. V'lo nahagam, and he didn't guide them. That's how we would have to understand that. Didn't take them, didn't guide them. And he gives an example in Exodus 32, lo nacha et ha'am. Lech nache et ha'am. Go guide the people. And in Proverbs 6, bihitalachacha, when you go, tincha otcha, she will guide you. Wisdom will guide you. Proverbs is an amazing book, and it anthropomorphizes wisdom as a woman. Ki karovhu, there we go. Although it was, or because it was close. V'noach lashuv, and it would be easy to return bo'oto haderech, in that same way. Lemitzrayim, to Egypt. Umidrash agada yesh harbe, and there are many midrashim that riff on this particular thought. Bir'otam milchama, when they see war, when they experience war, if they have to face war, kagon, he says, here are the milchamot, kagon milchemet, like the battle in Numbers 14. Vayered ha'amaleki. I believe this is not Bamidbar. I think it should be Shemot. I believe but it could be. Oh no, sorry. This is Bamidbar. This is referring to the spy incident.
Here it says Numbers.
It is Numbers. It's correct. It's correct.
Okay.
It's just at the end of B'Shalach, if I'm not mistaken, we have the Amalekites attacking the Israelites. But another mention of them is after this, after they try to. Okay, what happens is, remember the incident of the spies where 10 of them come in and say, we'll never make it. And then Moses tells them, in that case, you're going to have to wander 40 years until that generation dies out. And then a group of them say, no, they don't like the punishment. We'll go in and take the land. And Moses says, don't do that. The decision has been made. Let it alone. Just accept the consequences. And again, stubbornness. No, they don't, and they try to enter the land of Canaan. They try to go ahead and push forward, and the Amalekites and the Canaanites, etc., come and battle them, and in fact defeat them. So a bunch of them. So Mechilta im halchu derech yashar.
Rabbi,
Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yes.
so early, like 4 minutes back, you said Rashi said there were a lot of midrashim.
Yes.
And does he go into them, or he just refers to them?
He doesn't go into them. He just tells you that there are many ways that the midrashim. So, for example, Midrash Rabbah, the Tanchuma, quite possibly. Trying to think, the midrash on the halachic midrash, the Mechilta also. So there are many places to go to find midrashim, but basically he's telling us there are lots of ways to interpret this little passage, to take it. But he doesn't give examples.
So he's saying that the Peshat understanding is not going to really satisfy most people.
Well, I don't know if he's saying that per se, but I think he's saying maybe it's worth checking out some other midrashim on this, that there's some nice stuff on it. He's definitely suggesting to us that we might want to check them out.
Okay. Thank you.
His job is to give us the pshat. He tells us that at the very beginning. He said that already once. He says that a number of times, if I'm not mistaken, but that his job is to try and give us the plain sense of the text, which he has done.
Okay, thanks.
All right? Okay, no problem. So there's one example of a war that they're going to face. And so, im halchu derech yashar, were they to go in the most direct manner, the shortest distance between 2 points, hayu chosrim, they would have gone back. They would have returned. Uma im shehekifam derech meukam, and if you look at the fact that they did in fact travel a circuitous journey, Amru, they still said, Nitna Rosh v'nashuva Mitzrayma, let us appoint, maybe it means let us appoint ahead, or let us head and return back to Egypt. I feel like Nitna Rosh actually doesn't mean let us appoint ahead, although it could certainly, and maybe it does. It feels more like let's just go on back. Let's change direction and head back to Egypt. So if that's true, when in fact God did take them by a circuitous journey, they wanted to go back anyway. If he had taken them in a straight direction, how much the more so they would have wanted to go back. Now, there is some stuff here which there's some abbreviations here which frankly I am not familiar with. So Lefi Seder HaKatuv, according to the way in which the text is, Katuv usually refers to the scriptural text. Ner HaRishimot, the references Mahupachim are topsy-turvy. The Iyain Barom and I thought this might be Gur Aryeh, but I'm not sure. And I looked up this too.
It says Gur Aryeh.
It does. Oh, so you have it.
In mine, it says Mizrahi, Gur Aryeh, and Minchat Yehuda.
Yes. Okay. Fantastic. Yes. So this is Avraham Mizrahi, I believe. Thank you. Well, at least when I looked it up, okay. And you said what is this? Something Yehuda? What?
Minchat Yehuda.
Okay, so these are names of books. All right, thank you. I didn't know if they had it there. That's very helpful. All right, thank you. Let's make sure I get it in. Okay, oops. Okay, let's see. My Hebrew keyboard knowledge is not all that great, so I was taking a chance, but God was merciful. Okay. Okay, and this is Avraham, and what's the last name given here? What was the first one that you had, or the second
It's
one?
Mizrahi,
Okay, so, all right, so,
like the designer.
yeah, maybe some relative, okay.
Could be Ralph Lauren's a distant cousin of mine, Ralph Lipschitz.
Nice. Oops. Okay, where are
But I don't get the family discount.
Can't see the letter that I'm trying to
Yet
print
he
here.
took your name, Lauren.
He
Sort
did.
of. He sort of. Yeah. He owes you.
Sorry, I should take care of this
No.
time. Okay, let's see if that works. Yep, looks okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Thank you, because I spent quite a bit of time finding a book of abbreviations and trying. There were lots of abbreviations for all these various letters, but Gur Aryeh sounded sensible to me. Okay, very good. So he says Yishuv Nachon al Zeh, that you'll find an explanation of what is going on here. So exactly what he's trying to say here. Lauren, would you read me the English that they have there?
You mean for this whole
Yes,
Rashi?
this whole, at least where it says, according to the order of the scripture.
Oh, okay. It says, according to the sequence of the verse, the headings appear to be transposed. See Mizrahi, Gur Aryeh, and Minchat Yehuda for a correct solution of this problem.
Okay, so exactly what the problem is, I'm not sure. Now, is he referring to the Rashi here, or is he referring to the scriptural text?
The sequence of the verse,
Yeah, the verse would
which
seem
is
to refer to the
interesting because
scriptural
you're
verse.
talking about the circuitous route
Right.
of the physical journey, and they're talking about the circuitous route of the verses, and I don't know if there's a connection there or not. I really don't know what they're referring to, but it's, to me, seems very parallel.
Well, maybe what he's saying is that this section here, that God thought that that the people would change their minds if they saw battle, for that reason, and go ahead and say Velo nicham Elohim. So this could have come first before this. All right, somehow like that. I don't know. I have no idea. I have to confess, I have no idea what the transposition is that he's talking about. Okay. Again, unless he's talking about this verse here. Vayasev. So this Vayasev Elohim et ham derech hamidbar yam suf. Okay. Ki amar Elohim. So this could follow this verse here. You follow me? In other words, it could have said, God, okay, so when Pharaoh sent the people, okay, God did not take them by way of the Philistines, but he pointed them, the people, by way of the wilderness of the Red Sea. And then, then it could have said, because that's right. That could have been the order. And that's what he's commenting about. That when you look at it carefully, it actually could have been in a different order. It might have made more sense that way. At any rate, that's what I can deal with for now. But I think that's the idea. All right. Pen yinachem, right? Lest they regret. Yachshavu machshava, they will think about a thought, al sheyatzu, regarding the fact that they left Egypt, vayitnu lev lashuv, and they will turn their hearts to return.
I have something interesting in the JPS.
Okay.
It's got like and I don't see it anywhere else nearby, a vertical line starting between Ki and Amar, and then another one afterwards, further down, Elohim.
Here's the vertical line here.
Yes.
Here's the vertical line here. So
Is that maybe the what they're talking about?
No, I don't think so. This is a tam. I know that the way you would say this is ki. That's how you'd pronounce this particular tam. Ki.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's okay. That's good. I need to know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. But on the other hand, here is a zarka with this line, and I don't know enough trope to be able to start making those distinctions.
Oh, okay.
So I know.
Okay, so those are trope lines. Okay.
I know enough trope to get by.
Okay.
Yeah, but that is how you do this particular trope. This generally you'll find that there's a munach with a line, which is followed by another munach before a revia. Okay, you'll see that.
Yeah, it's almost like a pause too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't say.
Maybe.
All right, that's okay. So
Thank you.
No problem. So here is a sort of an interesting Torah Temimah on Vahi B'Shalach, right? Because, and that's what's cool about this, is that it forces us to look at this and put this under a magnifying glass, because normally we would just not pay attention to this. So it says, when Pharaoh sent, think about that. And it goes on to say, this is from the Mechilta, this is this halachic midrash on Exodus. Ein shiluach kan ela levaya. The word shiluach here has the connotation of accompany, which would be very positive. That Pharaoh was accompanying them. Uma schar natal azeh. And so what reward did he get for this? Did Pharaoh get this? Lo titaev mitzri. Later in Parshat Tetzai, Ki Tetzai in Deuteronomy, it says, you shall not hate the Egyptian, right? You shall not despise the Egyptian because he sent them. Look at what we've picked up already from this. Let's go on. Nir'eh, it appears, delachen mefarech shiluach ze lashon levaya, that for this reason, he explains this shiluach, this sending, as connoting accompanying. Kamo beperek vayera, as in the parsha, in the parsha vayera in Genesis. Avraham holech imam l'shalcham. Remember when the angels left, Vayera has to do with the three angels that visited Abraham and Sarah. And when they have finished visiting, it says, Abraham went with them to send them. There it uses the same word, B'Shalach. V'lo kipashte or kipshute. And he says, it's not like the simple meaning of Vaishalach, which, as I said, means to send. Mishum, okay, because the be'emet, in truth, Yatzu Yisrael mimitzrayim ba'atzman, the Israelites left Egypt on their own, v'lo havalei lahakatuv, and it would not have been proper for scripture litlot yitziatam, to make their exit dependent b'shiluach paro, on Pharaoh sending them. Right? They went. It wasn't because he sent them. So here's the distinction that he's making here. It is not the pshat of l'shal. Normally we think of shalach is you are sending them. Okay? And so it's saying that isn't what this is meaning. It means to accompany. Right? And not so much to send. Ela ba'atzman. They went by themselves. They didn't go because Pharaoh was sending them. They went. Uchamo hakatuv B'Tehillim Kuf Yad Dalet, and this corresponds to Psalm 114, where it says, B'Tzeit Yisrael Mi Mitzrayim. You're familiar with that in the Hallel, right? When Israel departed from Egypt. Gam yesh lefaresh. Okay, one can also explain kavanat ha'inyan ein shiluach kan ela levaya, that the shiluach that we're talking about here must only mean to accompany. It can only mean to accompany mishum de lefa'al shalach, okay, because the verb shalach, hora'at garash, it also has the sense of chasing out. Kamo v'shalcha mi beito. This is again in Parshat Tzetzah, where it talks about divorce, and it says about this woman that he should send her out, cast her out of his house. Doesn't mean accompany there. So he's saying there is a need to clarify this word B'Shalach here because of the other connotations, because normally that's what it means. It doesn't mean to accompany. It means to cast out. V'chein yesh lefaresh gam kan, and you could explain it the same way here, that Pharaoh basically chased them out. He cast them out. Umakbil hetev lidvarai, and it parallels very well to what I'm saying here. Hakadosh Baruch Hu, okay. Sorry, it's Ledivrei Hakadosh Baruch Hu. This period here is a confusing thing. I think it's a misprint or just something that got stuck on the text from the printer. But Hetev Ledivrei Hakadosh Baruch Hu. This parallels very well the very words of the Holy One, blessed be He, because he uses this word. I think we actually read this. Keshalcho kala garesh yigaresh. When he sends them, this is God speaking about Moses, about Pharaoh to Moses. He says he will send them out with everything. He's going to really, like good riddance. That's what he's basically the attitude that Pharaoh is going to have. Etchem mizeh, that is the Israelites. So God is telling Moses, when Pharaoh sends you out, he's going to send you out lock, stock, and barrel. That's what he's saying. Ulam mizeh shekatuv besof hapasuk pen yinachem ha'am. However, because the verse goes on to say pen yinachem ha'am, lest the people regret. Now here's the rub. If in fact Pharaoh chased them out, they got out of Egypt by the skin of their teeth with lock, stock, and barrel, why would they change their minds? Why would they want to go back? V'shavu Mitzrayma, and they would want to go back to Egypt. It appears ki haita kan hasbarat panim, that in fact when Pharaoh sent them out, there was decency, v'hanaga menumeset, and he treated them politely. That there was a behavior that Pharaoh's behavior, that when they left Egypt, it was done in a kind, polite, decent way. Meha Mitzrim, from the Egyptian. Be'et hayitzia, at the actual time of their departure. Ad sheniru lamo, until up to the point where they saw ke'ohavim, they appeared to the Israelites as friends, right? Ne'emanim, true friends. Hadorshim shlomam v'tovatam, who seek their peace and their goodness. In other words, that the Egyptians were treating them in a way that the Israelites felt, these people are really nice to us. They're accompanying us, they're going with us, they want to make sure we're okay on our way as we depart, lock, stock, and barrel, but they're making sure that we're going to be okay. V'hayu shavim Mitzrayma, and they would have in fact gone back to Egypt, bir'otam milchama, when they saw any battle, any war, mitzad amim acherim, from other people. V'lachein dashu B'Shalach al levaya, And now it makes sense why they made the drush on this word B'Shalach, meaning to accompany. Uvemilchilta, and in the Mechilta, halashon ein shiluach b'chol makom ela levaya. So in the Mechilta, we have this word that says the word shaluach in every place must mean to accompany. V'nir'eh de ta'ut sofrimhu, and that would appear to be a scribal error. It shouldn't say that. De be'emet halashon shiluach kepashtei, because the truth is that when it says sending, it means casting out. Normally, that's what it does mean and doesn't mean levaya. V'rak kan, and only here, pirusho lashon levaya, does it have the connotation of accompanying. V'tzarich lomar, and one has to read that Mechilta passage, kamoshe taknu, the way we copied it here in our text, because here he says, ein shiluach kan, that here in this context, the word shiluach means accompany. Let's see. Okay, ein shiluach kan ela levaya. So there's more. This is really cool. So I'll see if I can get through this because it's not too long. It ends here. V'yesh lehosif bi'ur v'hesper liyan halvayazo. And it's appropriate to add more explanation and to understand this matter of accompanying. What do we exactly mean? Ki be'v'mu'ar be'parshat bo. Okay, because as is explained in the parsha of Bo, Haya Paro Rotzeh Lahafis Da'at Moshe, that Pharaoh actually, we can see in Parshat Bo that Pharaoh wanted to entreat Moses. He wanted to, how can I put it? He wanted to get Moses to change his mind about him. He wanted to sorry, I'm struggling for the word here.
Persuade,
Yeah, but I'm trying to think.
convince.
No, it has more the sense of,
To
trying
appease.
to appease. How's that? He wanted to appease Moses, the Yisrael and the Israelites. Kemoshe Katav, or as it is written in the scripture, Kumu Tza'u, get up, leave, etc., and goes on to say, Gam Tzonechem, Gam Bekarchem, including your flocks and your herds, the Gomer, and he ends by saying, Uveirachtem Gam Oti, and bless me as well. Umatzinu betchunat malkei Mitzrayim, and we see that it was the custom of the kings of Egypt, shekeshayu tzrichim lehafis dat ha'anashim, that when they wanted to appease people, hayotzim mehem, who would leave them, who were going out from them, hayu milavim otam al darkam, they would accompany them on the way, mipnei shehu derech hakavod, because that is a respectful and it's a way of showing them honor. Uchamor ba'Avraham, and we have an example with Abraham, shebe'et shiatza miparo, that when he left Pharaoh, achar shenichshal b'lekichat Sarah, after the mistake, right, the problems in Sarah being taken. Remember, Pharaoh took Sarah. Remember when Abraham said she was his sister. So there was that whole mistake there. Upaiso, and he appeased Abraham, the matanot harbe, with many gifts. Kativ, or is it katuv? And it's also written, Vayitzav alav paro anashim. It says also that Pharaoh commanded regarding him anashim, people, vayishalchu oto, and it uses this word shalach to accompany him. And there the word shalach clearly has the connotation of to accompany. V'hachi nami kain, and here too it also applies in B'Shalach. We've taken one word, look at this, taken one word and totally exploded it out. But I thought that was a beautiful example of, deep, deep interpretation to understand, how every word has significance in the text. I'm going to stop the share here. Thank you. So we are pretty much, okay. All right. I'm going to thank those who joined us. I'm going to stop the recording and look forward to tomorrow.